everyone, this is Julie at Julie Loses. Thank you for turning in to another installment of my vlog. Now this is going to be not an update, but more of sort of an introduction into my tracking, and I thought I would try to do a screencast. Now this is my first screencast. For full disclosure, this is my second screencast because on my first one I recorded this whole thing and then I realized I didn't turn the volume on. So I was talking and talking and talking and talking, and there was no audio recorded on the subsequent video. So, my bad. But that's cool. I can just record another one. So, here we go. Anyway, I track all of my meals using my 2020 Lifestyles program online web portal. And this is what it looks like here. This is my dashboard. You can see here it's got my weight. My last weigh-in shows on the program I've lost 59 pounds. It's got little resource areas with videos, products, blog, and it's got all of these little areas that I can actually like go into and do things. So here's my dashboard. Basically, what I want to show you is I know that I still have a little bit left to eat today, and I figured that this would be a really good opportunity because I don't know exactly what I'm going to eat, and I like to use my tracker as a tool to help me decide what I need to eat to make my day be nutritionally balanced, as much as the numbers will show in any case. So let me open up the food menu and then go to today. And we'll go down and show you what I've eaten today. Today was kind of a bizarre day. I had a training session at 8 a.m., which is totally non-standard. I usually have it at 11 a.m., so I wake up and have breakfast at 9 because I had to be there at 8. I woke up, had breakfast at 7. I was cutting it kind of close, but I am not an early riser. So I had my tea, I had a calcium chew, I had a couple slices of toast with some Laughing Cow creamy Swiss wedges, light creamy Swiss wedge, and then I cooked up an egg with some olive oil spray, which I don't enter here because I use so little of it that there's no way to really document what is in it. And my nutritionist, my dietitian told me it was fine to just leave that off. If I'm going to use actual olive oil and measure it out, I'll put it in here, use like a teaspoon or something. But here, the olive oil spray, there's no way to really put that in. And then I had a banana. I didn't eat the whole banana, and part of me is tempted to change this to reflect the more accurate 3/4 of the banana I had, but I was in a rush, so I did not weigh my banana this morning, and I think the banana, I don't know if it's 120 grams or 60 grams. I think half of a banana is 60 grams. I'm just doing this from my memory right now, so I may be totally off. But I really have no idea how much banana was there, apart from I took a whole banana and then I ate like 3/4 of it. So I mean, I'll just leave that there. Maybe I'm overestimating, but I think that's going to be okay. I came home, but then I had to run back out to do an errand, and I didn't get home till 12:45. That's, several hours, and by the time I got home for lunch, my stomach was growling. I was making myself this peanut butter and jelly sandwich and slicing up some strawberries, and, pardon me, and my stomach was growling, and it's been so long since that has happened, so I was very eager to eat something quick, and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich was what it was. So I had my Adams 100% natural creamy peanut butter. I had some natural Concord grape jelly, which is, really, they just don't put the high fructose corn syrup, and it's got a little less sugar than you would see in others. And it's not the best, but it's not the worst, so it's a little bit better. I had a whole bunch of strawberries. They were real good, but not super sweet, so I did add some of my True Whip light whipped topping. It's a natural topping. It's made with all natural ingredients, no hydrogenated oils, no high fructose corn syrup. I like it a lot, and I would eat the whole tub. But I seem to be okay not eating the entire tub. So I made that for lunch, got that out of the way, and then came in and did a bunch of blog stuff. And before I knew it, it was 5 o'clock. And again, we're looking at the time here. That's over 4 hours without anything. And normally I like to keep that number to at least 3 hours, or at most 3 hours, so between, getting a little bit of protein in. So the crock pot, I was making some crock pot salsa verde chicken, which is basically a bunch of chicken breasts with some seasonings, non-salt seasonings, and then adding some salsa verde, some just jarred salsa verde, and cooking that up for like 4 or 5 hours. And that 4 or 5 hours had elapsed. I went out and I was shredding it. You take it out and you shred it, and then you put it back in with the sauce and let it cook a little bit more. So while I was shredding it, I was hungry, so I took a little bit of it and just kind of scooped it into my mouth. And that was awesome. So I think I probably, again, overestimated that 1 ounce there. Really, it was just a forkful, and but I wanted to at least jot that down. And then I had what I'm calling my first dinner, because I wanted to eat something, and it was going to be a good size meal, but I knew that I was going to have dinner kind of early. 6 o'clock is a little bit early for me, and I'm going to be up later, so I want to eat something a little bit later in the night too. So I went and I had 5 ounces of the chicken breast. I add the salsa verde in there. So when I weighed out the chicken out of the crock pot, it was actually 5 ounces exactly. So I'm probably underestimating on the protein here. So hopefully that overestimation and underestimation kind of balances out. That's how I do it in my head anyway. And then I added some fat-free sour cream, and I added some guacamole. So now I'm at the stage where, okay, it's like 7:30, almost 8 o'clock. I kind of want to do the other meal now. And instead of just going out and making something and then tracking it, at this point of the day, I use my tracker as a guide to help me navigate and help me figure out what I want to eat for the rest of the day. It's very helpful, and I'll show you right now kind of how I do that. So let's go in. First thing I'm going to do is they have a section here for totals, and that's going to show me for the day kind of what my ratios are for my nutrients, like where I am, what my actuals are versus my goal percentages, and then that will help me kind of figure out if I want to go protein heavy, if I want to add in some fat, if I want to, go real high on the carbs. So right now I'm at 20% protein. So the goal is, let's make this a protein-based meal, which all meals really should be kind of protein-based. I don't like having meals. I mean, you can see my earlier meals, they were kind of carb heavy. So yeah, I want to get that protein in. So I'm at 69, so I need at least 25, 30 grams protein. I'm good on my fats, so I'll try to leave out any added fats, and then my carbs are already pretty good, so I don't need to do much with the carbs. So I kind of want to just have more chicken, which makes it easy, because I know that's pretty protein heavy. Well, let's go back in and let's start adding numbers in and seeing how the balances work. So let's take a look here. So I add my filet. And let's just go with the 4 ounces. I mean, this is the serving size. So I'm going to shoot that up there. And let's do that. Let's do a new snack there. And then I know that the salsa verde is going to be plugged in there. I use 2 tablespoons as my portion there. If I go higher, if I have 6 ounces, I take it up to 4 tablespoons, but I end up putting maybe a cup of the salsa verde in there, and it lasts me so many meals. So I don't really know if this is an over or underestimation, but it seems to balance out in the scheme of things and not affect me too much. So I'm comfortable with that sort of chaos. So let's go there. And then my fat was good, so I probably don't want to add guacamole again, but sour cream, I gotta cream this thing up. I can't just eat the chicken by itself with nothing else. So let's do fat-free sour cream, and we'll do the serving of that. So that'll be there. And so, okay, I've hit 1,100 calories, so that's technically one of the lower kind of areas of where I'm at. Sometimes I'm in the straight 1,000s, but 1,100 is perfectly respectable. I can go up to like the 1400s and not feel bad about it. Let's look at the 35, 25, 40. Oh my goodness. That really rarely happens. It happens, it gets really close, like I'll be at like 34, 27, 39 or something. I'll be really close, but seeing 35, 25, 40 is kind of like a sparkly, magical unicorn occasion. So I'm going to look at the individual. I've got calories, protein, fat, saturated fat. Everything looks good. Cholesterol's high. There's nothing I can do about cholesterol at this point. I think it's high because I had an egg, and eggs have like 100 and something cholesterol. Sodium is rockin', and fiber is it's a little low. I should try to get some more fiber. So I don't want to add in like black beans or anything at this point. I think that would add too much calorie-wise. But I do have a fiber supplement that I can take. So let me go ahead and add that fiber supplement. Let's use the 2020 Lifestyles Clear Fiber. I just put a tablespoon in some water and stir it up, and it disappears. It adds a slight taste to the water, but it's not a gross taste, and I can tolerate it pretty well. Also, the fiber number isn't totally right on here because there's several different types of fiber, and they're not added up into the nutritional value here in the tracker. It's just taken one type of the fiber and used that, so it may underestimate the total fiber I'm going to add, but that's just a pre-explanation of why I don't think it's going to be. Oh, it's 22 grams now, so I'm pretty sure I've fallen in within my goal with those unlisted fibers. So where am I now? 34, 25, 41. Damn, those numbers are not perfect anymore. But I can make them perfect if I really wanted to. Not that I need to. I mean, these actuals are so close that this would be totally passable. But let's see. Maybe I'll add just a little bit more chicken. So let's go in. I'll go down to my snack. And I will change this. Let's go crazy. Let's add a ½ ounce. Make it 4.5 ounces of the chicken. 1138, totally reasonable. Totals. Oh, look at that. Back to perfect. That's awesome. I could do more if I wanted to. Like, I'm kind of tempted to say, well, so I'll show you what happened yesterday. Let's go to yesterday. Yesterday was a low carb day. You notice my numbers. I had 40% protein, 26% fat, and 34% carbs. So part of me is tempted to counterbalance that with kind of a higher carb day. But let's take a look. That was a low carb day too. That was my high fat day. That was the day I went to Chipotle. It's been kind of low, so I'm tempted to try and maybe add a little more carbs to this. So now the reason I say that, and low carbs aren't bad, but I do calorie cycling occasionally when I'm at a plateau, and it's really helpful, not a plateau, but just kind of on the lower end of the losing. And I have had a lot of luck calorie cycling. Like I'll drop down into the 900s for a day, and switch off between 900s, 1100s, 900s, and it really jumpstarts my metabolism. And in the past, I've also done some carb cycling, which I have, where I have like a high amount of carbs and then a low amount of carbs, and I do that like for a couple days, and I always notice like just a kind of jump starts those scale numbers moving in the downward direction. It's not scientific, it's totally anecdotal, but it is a thing, and so let's see what we can do to maybe pump up those carb numbers. I have these wraps that are really good, and I can maybe take a wrap and then put the chicken in there instead of just eating it out of a bowl. So let's see what that does to my totals. I mean, that adjusts just a little bit. I am tempted, when I add the wraps, I'm tempted to use a little of the Laughing Cow as well. So again, this is kind of how I plan. This is what I do. I can't figure out in my head. I know there are things I want to do, but I don't know if they'll totally make sense with my nutritional balance. So one thing you may see I'm completely lacking in like vegetables for today. I've been really low on vegetables today. I don't think I've gotten a single vegetable, in fact, today. So I'm going to make up for that tomorrow I'm going to do a smoothie, and I'll add in just a ton of spinach and fruit and some, I have a greens supplement that I do because I do have an issue sometimes with leafy vegetables. So that helps me get a lot of those helpful antioxidants without getting the digestion issues that I get sometimes. So what was I going to look up? I was going to look up Laughing Cow, which I've got a whole bunch of here. Oh, the queso fresco and chipotle would go so good with this. It adds a little bit of fat, and it adds not a lot of carbs, and it adds protein. So let's see, I may change the fat numbers a little bit. I'm up to 1233, which I'm not mad at. it. And I'm back down. I'm at 34, but I'm within goal range. I'm still within my fat range, and I'm higher up in my carb range. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm comfortable with that, even though the actuals aren't those magical unicorn numbers anymore. It's still close enough. So that is how I track. That's how my days work out. And if I didn't say it before, if I'm going to have a day where I'm planning a meal out, like say we want to go out to a nice steak dinner on Saturday night, I'm going to go in advance and kind of plan. I'm going to enter in what I want for dinner and then plan my earlier meals around that dinner. But on a day like today where I'm up really early, I'm going all the time, it's kind of hectic, I kind of just hunting and pecking for the first part of the day, and then balancing everything out in the evening. And this is how I do that. So I hope you found this interesting at all or helpful. I may have access to this after I finish the program, but I'm going to switch back over to my FitnessPal once my dietitian isn't forcing me to enter it in here, because it's more social. It's got a much better database. This has some things in the database that are pre-added, but the pickings are kind of slim, and I spend a lot of time manually entering in when I have new items that I want to add. So much love to the 2020 Lifestyles Tracker, but there are better trackers out there, and I'm eager to use those. Oh, look, my fiber's also gone up too. Awesome. So that'll be it. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.